Welcome to JFix, and in this video we're going to be looking at this new hot air station I've picked up for my electronics workbench. The model is a Sugon 8650. So let me show you what you get included and we'll do a little bit of testing with this. Let's have a look at the accessories that you get first, and then we'll look at the main unit. So we've got this nice desk stand here, which is really heavy. As you put it in and out here, it's not going to move anywhere because of the weight of it. It looks like it's made from like a anodized aluminium with a chrome part here and some aluminium. You've got the nozzles here. You get 4 of these straight nozzles of the various sizes and 3 of the bent nozzles. I've never used a hot air station before, so I'll have to experiment around, see which ones are best for doing which jobs. But I'm guessing the bent nozzles will allow you to come in at kind of an angle, especially if you're working under a microscope, so they might be useful. Yes, you get those ones in there and a place to store them. You've got a place in the front here, which I'll show in a minute, but this is like a quick release area, so while the nozzle's hot you can put them in here and you can switch over quickly. And you've got additional storage in the back on here where these clip in. Also, you can remove these extra back storage here, and you've got a second nozzle holder that you can attach on there if you wanted 2 of them. I'm not going to use that, but I'll keep this as a spare in case anything happens to this one. And along with that, I think that's the bracket to go on the other side of there to attach it. So you get those 2 with it. And you also get an additional heating element as well included with it, which is nice. So if that other one ever burns out, I've got a backup there. Right, let's just look at this, how this works with these heads. Okay, so these nozzles, they slide in pointing upwards and sit in there quite nicely. Same with the bent ones. So you can have three of them stored up there. And this bottom one here, so if we use this one, they store pointing inwards like that. If you want to use this quick release function, you can use these nozzles here. I've got no nozzle on it at the moment, and you just push it in and you're attached. And then if that's hot after you've been using it and you wanted to switch nozzles, I'm just holding it at the moment, but be secure when it's on the flat surface. Pull it out, and then yeah, I'm switched over to the large one, and I can switch back to the small one again. So I think that's quite a handy little feature. Quite like that. And the handle itself, when you've finished using it, it slots in nicely there. It's lovely and secure. You've got a inner lip in here that sits in the plastic moulding here. And it's also magnetic as well, with a sensor. So as you dock that, it will also switch off the airflow. But we'll give that a go. We'll switch on the machine now. Let's have a look at the unit itself. So it seems to be really well made, and surprisingly how heavy it is actually for the size. So that seems to be a good sign. The hose you've got here is got it's kind of like spring, just to stop any flex on it there at a weak point, but the hose itself is quite flexible. Let's have a little look at the nozzle actually. So the good thing and the reason why I chose this one is you can operate from the handle itself all of the separate program channels. So on the front of the unit here, I've got it powered on as well. You've got 4 different channels here that you can set, and you can switch between those channels by going 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the handle Obviously channel 1's the biggest one, might be the main channel. And you've also got a button on the back which switches it to the cold air mode as well, with no heating. Yeah, that looks all good. On the side here, you've got storage area to store some additional nozzles if you want, plus a tool. It's just like a little hex key on there. I think that's what that's used for, is the hex bolts are in the bottom. Yeah, be able to see them in there. So you can use that to remove the heating element if you want to change it. On the other side, you've also got a separate holder if you wanted to store it that way. It just goes in from the top and then drops down and hooks in. Personally, I think I'm going to be using this one, so I'll probably remove this off there. I think it's just probably a couple of screws, underneath holding that in. So I'll probably remove that to give me a bit more space on my shelf. Yeah, and that's all it is really of the unit. It's just on the back. It's just got the single power cable going in. There is a space for a earth to be connected if you want. I'm going to put this on the shelf, and then I'm going to have a play around with these channels and give it a try, I think. Alright, I've got it sitting nicely next to the monitor on the shelf here, with the handle just down here. I've gone with the left side because I'm right-handed, so I think when removing components it'll be easier to use like tweezers in the right hand, and then with the left hand, it's not something you need to be quite as accurate with. I can use the nozzle in the left hand. But as you see, you pick it up and it instantly comes on, and you've got a status here window. Currently I've put it on max, so we're on 550 degrees with 200 airflow, and it's got no nozzle, and that's really hot. Let's see how quick it cools down. Pop it in there. The temperature is instantly dropping down. And what I've done is I've wrapped this around the arm of the microscope, and that just keeps it tucked out the way. I've got stuff on this side of the mat don't want it to interfere with, and if I come to use it I can pick up the nozzle, and it's kind of keeping that cable out the way, and I've got plenty of length here to work anywhere I want to, and I put it back there. If I didn't have it around there, wrap it around that way, this is dragging all over the table, so I think that works well, just having it around this way, looping back on itself like that. That's just going to keep it from interfering with anything I've got over here. Okay, let's peel this off first of all. Lovely, and we can power it on. Okay, it's flashing here on channel 4 at the moment, which I've just set up to test it. Maximum temperature, maximum airflow. So it will go to 550 temperature and 200 air. Really easy to change. If you want to change the air, you just push them down here and you can see it's changing it from 200 down to 190. If you want to save it on a channel, put it to 190, you hold channel 4 and that's it. It saved the update. And same with the temperature. It's 550 at the moment. You can just go 540, hold it, and it's changed it 540, 190. You've also got this as a coarse adjustment. This is a fine one, but it jumps up higher if you press these small ones. So there we go. 200 airflow, and we'll jump up back up to the 550 max and save it. So channel 4's 550 200. Let's select channel 1 and we'll go airflow, just have it low, and temperature. What should we do? Just for testing, let's go coarse. That's a lot quicker. 100 is the lowest it'll go. So let's save that in channel 1, 164. Right, now let's give it a go. We're on channel 1, so straight away it's gone to 164. Got a little status light on how much it's using, and I can feel that blowing out now. So I should be able just to press channel 4 on here. Press that, yeah, and it's changed straight away. Max airflow, max temperature, and you can see kind of like the power level on there. It's maxing out. And as it's got up to temperature now, it's steady. And that's blowing out really hot. Let's put that in there, let it cool down. Temperature, airflow's dropping down automatically as the handle's in. Also, you've got this mode button on here. If I press the mode, so the mode button only works when the device is idle. It didn't work as it was cooling down. Now it's cooled down. You can see up there it's set to general, and if I press this button I can cycle through, and I'm on rapid, and the button also changes colour here. General, blue, and green, gentle. So I think that's to do with the warm-up time for the nozzle. If I have it on gentle, it'll warm up slower so it doesn't overshoot the temperature, and if I have it on rapid, then it'll heat up as fast as it can, and it might overshoot the set temperature that it's set to on there. So I think I'll just keep it on general for now, and I'm going to have a little play with this now. I've never used one of these before, so I'm going to get something appropriate that I can just test with. That's just a junk board, and we'll give it a go. I've got this junk board here, and I've got a couple of surface mounted ICs here, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of the flux on here. Do them both actually. This is the Amtech flux. Okay, now let's get the soldering iron. We are ready to go, and I've got the station set to 300 degrees and 150 airflow for now. Let's have a go, see how that goes. And I've applied the vent nozzle on this. Nice and easy. Right, let's see if we can put it back on. Oh, that's gone. Right, let's lower the airflow. Right. Actually, that's gone flying. So it looks like the airflow at 150 was far too high. Let's actually remove this one. Let's lower the airflow. Let's say let's try 100. Right. Okay, 100 airflow. I'll try not to get too close.
doesn't seem to be moving. It's taking a long time. Let's have a little play around. Let's go to... Right, airflow's going up. 120. Let's try that. Let me increase the temperature. Right, we've gone from 300 to 350 now. Let's see if that makes a difference, and I've kept it at 120 airflow. Try and circle it around a little bit. Okay, I think I just need to be a little bit closer to it. Let's see if that's going to blow away if I leave it. And that looks okay. Can we nudge it? That's almost perfect. Definitely going to need some practice on this. Yeah, and I think that's back on perfect, so let's stop that in. Okay, quite happy with that. Is it dried yet? Yep. It seems to be solid again. So yeah, for the first attempt, never used a hot air station before. What about this here? Let's see if I can remove that. Not put any flux on this, so see how this works. Oh, that's off straight away. Yeah, they're blowing away. So if anybody's got any recommendations for settings, etc., what you should be using, that'll be quite useful. But I'm going to have a little play around with this off camera, have a little experiment, and yeah, see if I can figure out myself what the best settings are to be using.
Before I wrap up this video, one thing I did want to just point out is that on this wand here, the nozzle and the heating element are quite a lot smaller than what you usually see on the hot air station with these heads on it. Now, if I look at the AliExpress on here and look at the original, okay, so that's the one that gets included with it, but they do have the old photo on there that shows you the size here, and usually you get these heads which are larger, and apparently this one that I've got now is the updated model that comes with the smaller head and smaller bits on there, which I think is better. Obviously, being smaller, it's easier to work with. It's not getting in the way as much. So yeah, I thought I'd just point that out as well. If you've got one of these, I've seen other people doing reviews on this hot air station on YouTube, and they don't have the exact same handle as this. The middle bit here is wider, and the heads that sit on it are also wider, which also means if you do have all the other heads and you get in this one, they're probably not going to fit on this model. Right, so I'm quite happy with this, and I'm going to need to obviously do a lot more experimenting with it, and hopefully I can get a few donor boards or something else that can have a good play around with and experiment with airflow and temperature settings. And if you have got any recommendations, please leave it in the comments, so I'll have a little go. Thank you.